Don't try anything you're about to see at home.
We're what you call experts.
On this episode of MythBusters, 2, 1, go. Awesome. Adam Jamie get down and dirty.
I've never seen anything like that.
Testing that an explosion inside a sewer
That sewer's getting pretty full of methane.
turns manhole covers into missiles. Then, Carrie, Tori, and Grant take on the fan fable that truck bedliner is indestructible. With car crashes, angry attack dogs, and an end with a bang finale. Can bedliner really save your life?
A lot of people ask me, do you ever get tired of blowing stuff up? I tell them no.
Who are the MythBusters? Adam Savage.
Am I missing an eyebrow?
And Jamie Heineman.
Things are gonna start to get a little crazy in here.
Between them, more than 30 years of special effects experience. Together with Carrie Barber.
I'm gonna wreck this car.
Tori Belleci.
We survived.
And Grant Imahara.
Save yourselves.
They don't just tell the myths. They put them to the test.
So is every story we do an excuse for you to wear a funny hat?
You should know the answer to that by now. Although specifically in this story, it's quite apt because we're doing a myth about sewers.
Sewers.
Well, specifically explosions within sewers.
You mean like from a methane buildup?
Yes, but it's not just about methane explosions. It's about during a methane explosion, do the manhole covers in the street above the sewer get blown high into the air?
Well, that sounds like a classic, and it's perfect for us.
I totally agree.
It's no myth that the decay of waste inside sewers makes them the perfect breeding ground for combustion. However, could a stray spark trigger an epic explosion and send manhole covers skyrocketing? Could a manhole ever turn missile?
What's the plan?
Well, it seems clear to me that this myth has to end with us testing it full scale. We need full-size manhole covers over a real sewer.
I agree, but you know what? Before we lock in on a full-size plan, let's do a small-scale one first and see if we can learn anything.
Sounds like a good idea.
This ought to do it.
So to find out if a methane kaboom can make manholes fly, the MythBusters get their minds into the sewer.
This is a Schedule 80 steel pipe, and I'm about to make it into a miniature sewer with a viewing port all along one side, which is hopefully going to be explosion-proof.
This cumbersome pipe should perfectly replicate a sewer in miniature. But with great weight comes great responsibility.
You see us build a lot of stuff on this show, and a lot of times it's kind of like gas. We are really just figuring it out as we go along. It's beautiful. But when you're building something this heavy and substantial, you can't quite do it that way. You actually have to plan 2 or 3 steps ahead. Slow this puppy down. Because everything you're doing and everything you're going to do is going to require moving hundreds of pounds of steel around. Oh, this is heavy. Not only can it make it logistically difficult, but fingers can be lost, eyes can be poked out. It's dangerous. Watch your fingers.
It's lovely.
Yeah, it is. I can't believe this is a small scale.
It may be big, but to withstand a methane explosion, it has to be. And to complete its authentic aesthetic, Jamie needs to make these.
That's a manhole cover.
So clearly in a sewer, there's all sorts of waste, human waste, household waste, and those wastes produce the dangerous gases that can lead to an explosion. That's not how we're creating our gases. And we're just calling up the welding store and bringing in some methane and pumping it in. But remember, methane is a little tricky. It requires a precise ratio of air to gas in order to explode.
9% in 3.
And that's exactly the ratio that we'll be using today. Why? Because this myth isn't really about the circumstances that lead to an explosion. It's about what happens afterwards. The question we're answering is, will those manhole covers fly sky high?
To find that out, Adam and Jamie are going to test a series of potentially explosive sewer scenarios. The first test is the most standard sewer setup, an open-ended system.
Here's how this procedure is going to go down. First, we fill our chamber with this, methane, exactly 0.12 cubic feet, or a stoichiometry of 9.5% gas to air by volume. All right, you ready? I'm going to turn on the gas.
I'm ready.
Okay. That gas will flow into the chamber until it's the correct amount, then we shut off all the valves. Then, we mix the air and the gas with this little whisper fan. We turn on this fan for exactly 2 minutes. Let the air and the gas get together. It's a nice looking rig. Yeah, that might be in the running for the heaviest small-scale thing we've ever built. At that point, We will plug in this neon transformer, setting the spark, and hopefully getting the manhole cover launches of our dreams.
But will the free flow of air and gas in the open-ended sewer mean the manholes slide?
This is Train Disaster, Open System, in 3, 2, 1, go. That was totally boring. I was like... Wait, let me do that again. Hold on.
Despite igniting the methane at its explosive ratio, the manhole covers didn't get air.
Manhole cover check. 1, 2, 3, all still on. I don't think an open system is that energetic.
No.
And the reason for that lethargic blast? Well, for that, it's over to the Heinemann.
Think of this like a gun. If the back of the barrel of the gun is closed, then the exploding gunpowder goes this way and pushes the bullet out the end of the barrel. However, if that breech is open, the gas is going to follow the path of least resistance and escape here, and it's not going to do anything to the bullet.
It's not looking good for the open system, but this myth doesn't rest there.
I'm making a mess. For science!
There's a whole lot more manhole mayhem to come. Next up is a fan favorite with 3 times the carnage.
Alright, so you guys are familiar with bedliners, right?
Yeah, it's the stuff you spray in your pickup truck bed to protect it.
Right. Now, officially, it's known to stop scratches, dents, and rust. But unofficially, people are claiming that it is practically indestructible.
Yeah, I've read all sorts of crazy stuff on the fan site, that you can make a suit dog-proof, you can make car crash-proof, you can make a house blast-proof. I assume we're taking most outlandish to testing, right?
Exactly.
Bedliner, used to line the beds of trucks and protect against dings and scratches. But according to the fans, that's not all. Supposedly, it can defend against damage in a host of unconventional conditions.
So we're going to be working with attack dogs, crashing cars, and exploding houses. I think I love this myth already.
Okay, well, before we get too far, let's find out what the bedliner's made of and how it performs under normal conditions.
Buzzkill.
Science. Ready to find out about bedliner? I got a few questions.
So first, it's time to bed down and find out just how this stuff works.
All right, Mark, so what exactly is bedliner?
The bedliner material is a 2-component polyurethane polyurea elastomeric coating.
What is it normally used for?
You'll find these coatings do very well where there's a high abrasion, where typical paints will not hold up. So the applications are endless.
Yeah, but if you turn it through any explosions or been attacked by dogs?
Not today, no.
Right, so bedliner is really only designed to guard against dings and scratches. So now to get started on what the fans claim it can do. Number 1, can bedliner make your car crash-proof? To find that out, they've got a car. So now to give it a very special paint job.
We're going to spray half of this car with bedliner and leave the other half completely clean. This car's not been in any accidents and there's not a dent on it, so we're starting from scratch.
With the aid of the bedliner ninjas and the time-lapse camera, in no time at all,
This is totally cured. That's amazing. All right, well, you get on the unsafe side. I'll grab it. All right. See, abrasion resistant.
abrasion resistant may be, but to find out if it's crash-proof, it's time to, crash it.
I don't like carpooling. Can we not carpool anymore? Love when I get to drive. We're going to simulate a minor fender bender. To do that, we're going to back our car in, treated and untreated side, into this barrier at 6 miles an hour. We want to get minor damage and compare the differences.
Yep, and 6 miles per hour still equates to a 5,000 joule impact.
Okay, there's a 6 miles per hour rear bumper test. Here we go.
First, on the untreated side,
Wow, you got all of that one. A little more violent than I expected.
and then the bedliner side.
Nice job, man. I don't think I'll ever get used to that.
Grant's no fan of rear-enders, but it does seem like the bedliner can take the strain.
But you know what? I'm going to have to say that was a win for the bedliner. I mean, look at this. It's still intact.
Dude, that's crazy.
The untreated bumper is shattered, while the bedliner is practically untouched. But can it survive a 6 mile per hour assault from the front?
This is going to be funny. God, what are you, blind? Just kidding. All right, that was a good hit. I'm okay. Human crash test dummy. Well, that was a solid hit, and it looks like the bedliner wins again. Dude, look, we have cracking here and here, but none on the bedliner side. That is totally amazing. And that's some serious damage right there.
Serious damage, but a collision at 6 miles per hour is relatively tame compared to what's coming up next. On the other side of the break, Tori puts pedal to the metal.
Oh my god, that was so fun.
Later, it's Adam and Janie and the Great Drain Disaster.
That sewer's getting pretty full of methane.
In this drain disaster, supposedly a sewer explosion sends manhole covers sky high. However, with their automated system, that wasn't the case, as the explosion took the path of least resistance. So for the next test, the MythBusters are closing the sewer, and that's not as crazy as it sounds.
There are many places in which a sewer can become a closed system. You can have a large pipe that immediately makes a right angle turn into a small pipe. Gases have a hard time going around corners like that when they're under pressure. You can have a part of the sewer above water with a bunch of the sewer underwater. All of a sudden, that becomes a closed system.
But will a methane explosion in a closed sewer make the difference and send the manhole covers sky high?
3, 2, 1, go. Awesome. Go.
Apparently, yes.
All manhole covers wet, and it sounded cool too.
The high-speed referee proves that not only did the lids flip, but they got significant air.
Well, that worked pretty much exactly as we hoped it would. And here's what's going on there. The reason those manhole covers start to fly before the fire even gets to them is the fire is an expanding gas, and it is pushing air ahead of it, kind of like a piston. That piston is causing an increase in pressure, which is released by the manhole cover flying. That's what we wanted to see. Go.
The closed sewer scenario may have achieved manhole flight, but there's one more parameter for the guys to test inside their small-scale drain.
I'm making a mess. For science! Mom, this is the way it's supposed to look.
That's right, they're adding debris, because more junk might lead to a bigger kerfunk.
Now, you might be looking at this and thinking, how is your chamber full of springs and coiled wire anything remotely approaching a real-world scenario? How does that kind of blockage occur in a real sewer? Well, actually, it does. Real sewers have all sorts of things, like remnants of work been working on them, spools of wire, ladders, equipment, things that washed into the sewer, different sizes of pipes in the sewer that actually change and constrict the airflow. This kind of thing can absolutely happen inside a sewer.
And with the springs providing 20% blockage, will they put a spring in the step of the manholes?
All right, here we go. Drain disaster, small scale, 20% obstruction, single ignition source, and 3, 2, 1, go.
The scattering of springs accelerated the burn for the most dramatic drain explosion so far.
Wow, look at that, how fast it moves.
I've never seen anything like that.
That is like a fireworks show.
That was amazing. So what's happening here? Well, if you look at the unblocked burn, you'll see that the flame front is taking up, maybe in this case, about a quarter of a square foot. It's moving out spherically from the ignition source. But looking at the blocked burn, you'll see that the flame starts to wrinkle the minute it meets these obstructions that we put in the chamber. That wrinkling creates a much larger surface area, maybe several square feet for all we know. But the end result is that the flame front is able to accelerate much, much more quickly throughout the burn, and it leaves the other one behind in the same time.
Go. And that speedy flame front creates the pressure that propels the manhole covers sky high.
Up over 36 inches, number 3, number 2, and number 1.
And they're off the scale.
Freaking awesome.
Well, that's what we need to do in the full size.
I think we have our testing parameters.
Carrie, Tori, and Grant are on a collision course, finding out if truck bedliner can make your car crash-proof. And so far, it's looking good.
Look, we have cracking here and here, but none on the bedliner side. That is totally amazing. All right, we've already established that bedliner works pretty well for low-speed crashes, but now it's time to put it through the ultimate test, a high-speed crash. And for that, Tori's gonna ram. All right, Tori, whenever you're ready.
Tori's going to ram both sides of the car at 25 miles per hour, or with an impact force of 50,000 joules. Remember, this is for science, and Tori is not enjoying himself at all. what's red and white and dented all over.
Nice.
After both impacts, the difference between the control and coated side is negligible.
Check it out. That's some pretty good damage there. Hey, it's a little better on this side. Yeah, I mean, barely. You know what? This is still busted because it's definitely not crash-proof. All right, yeah, it helped a little bit, but didn't do it. Good work, man.
Now, the fan site claims that bedliner is indestructible. You coat your car in it. It's not only dent-resistant, but it's crash-proof. I think we proved them wrong on that. Anything small, abrasions, little tiny dings definitely help. But you get anything more severe, it's busted.
Crash-proof is busted. But how about claim number 2? Can you make a DIY dog-proof suit with bedliner?
So to see if bedliner can actually make the fabric bite-proof, we're going to build a dog-biting robot. We'll find out what fabric works the best, and once we've figured all that out, then we'll bring in the real dog.
Ultimately, Tori will face the jaws of fate. But to make sure they're not barking up the wrong tree, first, RoboChomp will test if there's any truth to the bedliner being dog-tooth-proof.
Now, this is an actual German Shepherd skull. Done a little bit of research, found out that the German Shepherd bites down with about 400 pounds of force. So we're going to take a pneumatic cylinder, put it right in this bit here, and that way we can precisely control the speed and the bite force until it exactly matches a real dog. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. I call that successful.
And for its next meal, Carrie has found these.
We're going to spray bedliner on each one of these different fabrics and see which one's going to be the best for a dog-proof suit. We have leather, denim, canvas, and a quilted jacket.
Those are the contenders, and the winner will be coated in bedliner and hopefully make an attack dog pause.
Now I'm going to apply a 1/8-inch layer of bedliner. That's exactly what we have in the truck. Feels like a carnival game!
With one arm sprayed and set, and RoboChomp calibrated to a tech scan rating of 400 pounds, which fabric can strong-arm its bite?
All right, second one.
Okay, control test dog bite denim.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Oh, all right, you got a nice bite.
That's a bleeder.
1.
Unsurprisingly, 400 pounds of bite force is more than a match for the leather, denim, canvas, and quilted jackets.
That.
But how will the bedliner fashion compare?
Okay, first up, denim.
3, 2, 1.
Wow, that is strong.
Release. Wow, good train.
How can get penetrated?
Well, it starts out strong.
Well, doesn't look like there was any penetration. Cool. This stuff's tough.
Leather jacket.
And continues to hold out.
It's not punching through? No, not at all.
Okay, this is canvas arm with bedliner. Oh my god, this is ridiculous!
It looks like it's working.
Bedliner quilted jacket.
In fact, on every jacket, the bedliner protects against 400 pounds of RoboChomp.
Look at that. It protected the arm as well.
Not a scratch.
Wow, that's amazing.
It looks like the fans could be right about bedliner being a cheaper alternative to a dog-proof suit.
This coat is a little bit more padded. I feel a lot safer wearing this if I'm going to let the dog attack me. So what I'm going to do now is let them coat the rest of the coat, and then we're going to let the dog out. High-speed shots are some of the most beautiful things we've ever gotten in small scale. Where do we stand in going full scale?
Well, the best case scenario is a closed system with lots of blockages.
Also, surprisingly, it turns out that nobody wants to let us use a real sewer to blow up.
Shocking.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to make our own. I'm thinking dig a nice big trench, put down some real sewer parts with real manhole covers, and have a go at it.
Works for me.
3, 2, 1, go.
So, to upscale their best-case scenario sewer, the guys will need to get down and dirty in Ione and build their own.
Nice wide open space.
Perfect to blow up a sewer in.
Now, of course, the first prerequisite of building your own sewer is a hole. In order to get started, we're going to need to find a hole.
Here's one.
Perfect.
It's a conveniently large hole for some inconveniently large construction.
Our sewer's going to be 40 feet long, and it's going to be made of sections of something known as box culverts. They're precast concrete pieces that'll be 4 feet high and 6 feet wide. The first thing we have to do is put those in here and join them together.
Yep, and if you thought the small-scale rig was heavy-duty,
That piece of culvert behind me weighs 32,000 pounds, 16 tons. Altogether, this is the largest construction project we've ever undertaken for an experiment.
It is, and luckily the team of heavy lifters are on hand to choreograph the culverts into place.
I don't want to set it to music. You guys are like ballet.
These things aren't just decoration. We saw in our small-scale experiment that obstructions like this dramatically speed up the burn. And so these may make the difference between manhole covers that jump up a little bit or a lot.
They're standing in for real-life blockages, like sewer servicing equipment and garbage. And based on the small scale, they should accelerate the speed of the burn.
You may be wondering why we're going whole hog on this thing, rather than working incrementally up to it. Why start with the best case scenario? Well, for two reasons. We are spending a tremendous amount of time and energy building a full-size, full-scale sewer, and we don't know that maybe a mid-scale explosion would render it useless for further tests. Given the number of unknowns, I think it's safe to say that we only have one shot at this. The other reason we're going full scale is because when you scale things up from small scale to large scale, things get very, very complicated very quickly. And given all of that, we want to see what happens to these manhole covers. That's why we're going for the best case scenario. Looking more like a real sewer every minute. Have you guys cleaned up? It's a sewer down here.
It's the best case scenario, but it's not an unrealistic one.
That's pretty good.
Sewers are naturally confined spaces. Add to that what we know about the instances of standing water or pipe configuration, and this closed system with blockages is the most likely scenario for a blast. With the sewer structure complete,
It's almost done.
it's time to make the earth move.
We're going to bury our sewer under 3 feet of dirt because, well, the dirt is actually an important structural part of the sewer. A sewer that's buried underground will be a lot less likely to blow apart than one that's on the surface.
Indeed, because the only things that are supposed to blow are these.
And now, what this whole thing's all about, the manhole cover.
This is your basic cast iron manhole cover, 24 inches in diameter, an inch and a quarter thick, and 103 pounds. If this indeed is going to become our projectile, we want to make sure we see it, so we're going to make it a little more camera friendly.
The distinctive manhole covers are manhandled into place.
You know why manhole covers are round, don't you? It's the only shape that won't fall through its own hole. Yeah.
And now to prep the elements that will make their sewer explosive.
Believe it or not, methane in this tank is enough to create a blast equivalent to 120 pounds of high explosives. Now, we're not going to put all of this in our sewer. We're only going to put a third of it, or 100 cubic feet, in there. Bye. But just to be safe, we're going to bury this in a pit nearby, and we're going to operate it remotely with a solenoid. Okay, it's done. We're wired.
100 cubic feet of methane will fill their sewer to the perfect stoichiometric ratio for a big boom.
We've optimized the design of our full-scale experiment based on everything we learned in small scale. We are going for the fastest burn for deflagration possible. Now, there is a small chance that we could achieve a detonation. Let's lay some cable. That means in order to be safe, we have to remove all of our systems, the gas release, the gas monitoring, and the ignition, almost a quarter of a mile away.
With that, their spectacular sewer is ready for what could be the most explosive debut ever on MythBusters.
They look beautiful.
This sewer is a replica of an actual real-world sewer, except that we've optimized it to give it the best possible chance at actually detonating a gas instead of deflagrating it or burning it. Now, if it just burns, it'll be fairly impressive, and the manhole covers will probably go fairly high. But if it detonates, they're really going to go high, and here's the thing. If it detonates, this will be the first incident that has ever been recorded and documented of a gas detonation occurring from a natural source, like a flame or a spark. That'll be something.
Coming up next on MythBusters, can bedliner make a coat bite-proof?
Do not try what you're about to see at home.
We're what you call experts. Dogs, man's best friend. Loyal, cute, and cuddly. Well, most of the time.
All right, sick 'em, boy.
Their bite may be worse than their bark. But can truck bedliner protect you from the jaws of an angry dog?
Looks like it's working.
Wow.
We're testing bedliner myths, specifically that if you coat a jacket in bedliner, you can make it dog bite proof. Now, so far, we've created a dog bite rig that can bite down with 400 pounds of force. The next step is a real arm and a real dog. Dog's no problem. Tori's gonna provide the arm.
And German Shepherd Cliff is going to provide the bite. But before Tori gets into his bedliner,
Okay, Dad, what do you think is the best way to go about this?
We'll start off with putting Tori in a full bite suit. and letting Cliff bite Tori?
Just so you can get the taste of Tori.
And so Tori gets to feel the Cliff.
Does Cliff like Italian?
He's never had me.
That's about to change, because for a starter, Tori must don the familiar dog bite suit. And despite the fact he's been here before,
Not nervous. Scared.
nobody likes staring down a highly trained attack dog.
Hey, look, Tori, he's salivating.
This isn't gonna be good.
Hey, you stop it, that's the dog. Stop it, that's the dog.
Good boy, Boss. Good dog. Good boy. As expected, the heavy-duty nylon of the bite suit protects Tori from Cliff's bite. But Cliff doesn't seem to know that.
Gross. Plus. He didn't let go that fast. Apparently he likes the Italian.
Holy crap. I'm nervous. I think it's gonna hurt. You see how long it took him to get it off me? Does anybody else feel bad about this? Or is it just me?
Although the bench test may have proven the bedliner successful,
Doesn't look like there was any penetration.
RoboChomp is a far cry from an angry attack dog. Good dog. Good boy.
Look at he's like pissed. He's like, you wanna go again? Not really. I don't. Not gonna lie. Alright, it's the moment of truth.
With the control complete, it's time for Tori to make his bedliner debut.
Wow, that is the height of fashion, my man.
Well, thank you, friend.
Does it close up?
Well, the problem is, I think I put on a little weight with these pants. Bring up the dog. Let's get this over with. Grab me on.
With Tori squeezed into the jacket, it's a moment of truth.
This seems like the opposite of a good idea. And I hope this suit works.
Get that bed line. Get the bed line. Okay, this is bedliner jacket. Is it dog bite proof or not?
It stopped it. That was incredible.
Amazingly, it's just seconds before Cliff realizes that he won't get his man. The bedliner is too tough.
That was incredible. It stopped the dog from biting through the jacket. Oh my god, I never want to get bit by one of those for real. We've had dogs attack us wearing these suits, but these are rated for dog attacks. They're designed so that you don't get hurt. However, this has never been rated, so I have no idea whether or not the dog's teeth were going to tear through this or not. It worked! It stopped the dog attack!
We have a dog bite proof suit.
I call this one confirmed.
Confirmed.
What's worse, bark or the bite?
The bite.
Down at Ione, California, the MythBusters' great drain disaster is about to go off.
Here's how this is going to work.
We will be activating this experiment from 1,000 feet away in the safety of this steel bunker behind bullet-resistant glass. When I click this switch
It'll open this valve and allow the methane to flow.
into our homemade sewer buried underground, when the stoichiometry, or the mixture between gas and air, has reached the ideal relationship for an explosion,
I'll hit this switch, creating a spark, which will ignite the gas.
hopefully sending these 3 manhole covers flying sky high. That's the theory.
That's the theory, because if the 103-pound manholes don't fly sky high, the myth is busted.
What we need to see for this myth to be true is pretty straightforward. We need to see some type of shockwave or explosion that does not destroy the sewer and yet launches the manhole covers. And I'm not talking like a boop boop. I'm not even talking like a boop boop. I'm talking launches them.
Well, with the fire department on standby, there's only one way to find out if those manholes will fly.
You ready? I'm going to start the flow of gas.
Let her rip.
It will take 100 cubic feet of methane to get their sewer to the optimum explosive ratio.
21 cubic feet.
About 2%.
1/5 of the way there.
It's that familiar MythBusters waiting game.
That sewer's getting pretty full of methane.
Small scale proves that the perfect stoichiometric ratio sent manholes flying. However, will the full scale equivalent, 100 cubic feet of methane, prove just as effective?
Shall we do it?
I think it's time.
All right, call it.
All right. Real world sewer explosion. Best case scenario. Sparking in 3, 2, 1.
Look at that!
That had to be 100 feet. that was significant.
Significant is right. The manholes turn missile, rocketing 150 feet and only returning to Earth after a hang time of 6 seconds.
Go take a look.
And closer inspection of their sewer has the guys astonished at the force of the explosion.
Well, there's two. There's three, and number one seems to have traveled the farthest. That is one hell of a blast.
I think the whole roof of the sewer came up.
Well, as I'm walking on it, I can feel it feels soft. Do you feel that?
That's what I'm saying. All this dirt kind of came up in the air a foot or something. We should check our high speed.
That was awesome.
Yep, and from the safety of solid ground, the high speed shows that the deflagration of the sewer sent Earth and manholes flying.
There they go.
Wow. It's perfect.
They look like flying saucers taking off.
Look at number two showing it full to the camera. That's insane. That might be one of my favorite high-speed shots we've ever gotten.
That's gorgeous.
Gorgeous, and also very revealing.
Now, seeing fire coming out of that manhole cover and not the others is telling us that this is not a detonation. If it was a detonation, it'd all be simultaneous. We're not seeing that, so this is a burn.
Yep, but a burn big and fast enough to bring the manhole mayhem to a close.
Well, if there's one thing everyone knows they can expect from a sewer explosion, it's that number two is going to fly into the air. And that's what happened. I'd say mission accomplished.
You know, it kind of makes you wonder. Could you get a jet of fire like that coming out of the toilet when you're sitting on it if something like that happened?
Man, that was awesome. We got a super fast burn. We got internal pressures in the sewer of over 100 pounds per square inch. And our manhole covers flew 150 feet in the air.
Yeah, and that wasn't even a detonation. Can you imagine what had happened if the flame front and the shockwave got all lined up? Everything happens at once, and who knows how high they'd go.
Still, we have plenty of information to fully call this myth.
Yep, it's confirmed.
Totally confirmed. Sometimes the truth is far more spectacular than fiction.
Next, Carrie, Tori, and Grant have a blast.
I like our C4 remodeling.
But can Bedliner save Buster?
Final experiment for Bedliner Bedlam. The bomb.
If you coat your house in bed liner, you can make it blast-proof.
All right, here's what I'm thinking. 4 walls total. 2 cinder block walls, 1 coated, 1 not, and 2 standard wood frame walls, 1 coated, 1 not.
Then we detonate an explosive, see how the myth stands.
All right, then we'll see how strong this stuff really is.
And quick as a flash, they've knocked up those 4 walls for a test.
So we have 2 sets of walls, wood ones and cinder block ones, and we're going to see how well Bedliner does against an explosion. A lot of people ask me, do you ever get tired of blowing stuff up? I tell them no, I don't.
It'll be a blast times 4. But that's not good news for Buster.
So we placed Buster right in the middle of our wood frame house. He's got no instrumentation inside of him. This is just a visual test. We want to see if the walls fall in on him.
Now on this side of the wall, I'm setting up the blast. C4 is exactly 5 feet away from the center of the wall. When this thing explodes, it's going to be putting out a blast load of 95 PSI. Let's see how the wood wall handles it.
Okay, this is control test for Bedliner.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
On that wall.
Oh, yeah. Buster.
He's all blackened. Agent Buster.
Unsurprisingly, the code-compliant wooden wall between Buster and the C4 failed.
Looks like we just put a new door in.
I like our C4 remodeling. Now, if this Bedliner has any hope of working at all, what it's got to do is contain most, if not all of this, and keep it from hitting Buster. My prediction? I don't think so.
Well, to find out, it's relocation. As Buster is moved to an identical wooden home,
Good luck, Buster. You're going to need it.
all except the coating of Bedliner.
Now for the Bedliner house. Same amount of C4, same distance.
All right, this is wood wall with Bedliner versus C4. Do it.
In 3, 2, 1. And smoke clears and we're still standing.
Wow, the wall is still together. All right, but we got to check the inside.
Let's go look. It worked, baby.
It stopped the shockwave from breaking through the wall. That's incredible.
This is in remarkably good shape.
All right, well, it's blast-proof from the outside. Let's check the inside.
I would have
to say this is totally blast-proof.
Amazingly, the coated wooden walls are indeed bomb-proof. But can bedliner hold the C4 wolf away for the cinder blocks?
Now we are moving on to the cinder block wall, but we are going to double the amount of C4. The reason is because the amount that we use on the wood walls would not do any damage to the cinder block wall.
All in all, it's just another brick in the wall.
And in doing so, we are also increasing the amount of blast load from 95 psi to 1400 psi. We're going to set off C4 in front of both walls and see what happens.
So first, to find out what double the C4 does to their cinder block control.
In 3, 2, 1.
Say Buster probably didn't survive this glass.
Alright, well, let's see what the bedliner does.
Okay, that was pretty impressive.
For the ultimate test of bedliner, Buster has his back to the reinforced wall. But will it be enough to protect him from a C4 blast?
This is bedliner on a cinder block wall in 3, 2, 1.
Wow.
I see smoke rising and...
That's a big black mark, but I don't think it did any damage to it.
From the front, it's looking good for blast-proof bedliner.
Guys, it's looking really good from this side.
Yeah, there's hardly any damage. It's just dirt.
Well, let's look at the other side. It worked!
Buster survived.
So, bedliner is blast-proof.
Totally blast-proof. This one's confirmed.
So, as it turns out, bedliner has amazing blast-proofing qualities. When we sprayed it on our wood wall here, it kept the wall together and kept it from showering Buster with debris. Now here with the cinder block wall, it totally devastated the back of the wall, crumbled everything, debris everywhere. And here on our treated cinder block wall, not a scratch on it. Bedliner is a blast-proofing agent, confirmed.
That's incredible, man.
Wow, we got a new application for bedliner, huh?
That's awesome stuff.
What else can we do with it?
I don't know, let's see if we can make stuff bulletproof.
What about shark-proof?
What about bear-proof?